Hello Maths fans, and we're back with a help for a Maths Watch assignment for Year 10, but this also relates to clips 207A and B, I think, from Maths Watch. They're in there somewhere. Anyway, this was to do with rationalising the denominator. And if you look at all of these questions, they all have an irrational denominator. Irrational obviously meaning that it can't be expressed as a ratio of two integers, a over b. It can't be written as a fraction with whole numbers, basically. Anyway, we've got 10 minus root 18 over root 2, and we've got to get it into a plus b root 2. Again, don't get fazed by this. This will all work out if we take our time with this. So let's write it out again. 10 minus root 18 over root 2, and if we rationalise the denominator, hopefully we've picked up that we're trying to make that rational. Okay, the root 2 is irrational. Easiest way to make it rational is to multiply that denominator by root 2. If I multiply the denominator by root 2, to keep the fraction the same value, I have to multiply the numerator by root 2. So basically you times by root 2 over root 2. If you think about it, you're timesing by something divided by itself, i.e. you're timesing by 1. So you're not actually changing the value of what's happening of this expression here. You're actually just changing the way it looks. And this is useful later on if we're trying to add and subtract fractions and work with it a bit further on. Okay, so easy thing to remember here is because there's two terms in this expression here, I'm going to put some brackets around it so I don't make a mistake. Okay, let's do the easy bit first. Root 2 times root 2 is 2. 10 times root 2 is 10 root 2. If you look at that. So it's like a multiplying algebraic bracket, really, if you think about it. That root 2 is multiplying the 10, and it's multiplying the root 18. So negative root 18 times root 2 is negative root 36. Okay, the first phase. Let's go to the next phase of this. Can we simplify anything? Well, I've got 10 root 2 minus root 36. Well, we know what root 36 is, so that's probably one of the easiest simplifications we're going to get. That's 6 all over 2 equals, well, common factor here, it means 10 over 2 minus 6 over 2, basically. So if you could split up into two fractions, if you're struggling to see that, or you can do it in one go. I'm going to show it in two fractions here. Put 10 root over 2 minus 6 over 2. It's like going backwards for a subtraction of two fractions. 10 over 2 is 5 root 2 minus 3. And that's given a plus b root 2. They've written it there. So I'm going to write it as negative 3 plus 5 root 2. So a is negative 3 and b is 5. Okay, and that's it. That's that one. So asks you for a is negative 3 and b is equal to 5. I'm just going back to this line here. Okay, so sharp-eyed amongst you would have realised what you can do here. If you know that 2 is a factor of everything in the denominator and everything on the numerator, we've talked about this many, many times in simplification, I can do the division here. So yeah, 2 will divide into 10 5 times, so that gives me 5 root 2, and 2 divides into 6 3 times, minus 3, all over 1 if you like, but a lot of time we don't put that 1 in there, and we get the same result as this line here. Okay, I hope that makes sense, and you can do that sort of question. I noticed question 10 was also a problem. It is the same process, question 10. From what I can see, a similar sort of question. So I'm not going to go through question 10. Try question 10 now. You should be okay with that. Okay, see you next time.